We've had our electric Mini now for almost 2 years, so it is time for its first service. I don't even know what they do in a service in an electric car. Obviously you don't change the oil. Do they change anything? Do they give you a full tank of electricity when they're done? Who knows? Let's find out. Welcome to Mini St Catherine's. Now, even though we've got a Mini Cooper S, the servicing is actually taken care of by Performance BMW. That's a good start. Now, what's involved? I've already dropped off the Mini and I've spoken to the service girl and she gave me a fairly detailed explanation of what's involved. It took approximately 30 seconds. Here's what she said.
Check microfilter and brake fluid are due.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay, and that's all included in when we bought the car,
That
yeah?
is included. You've got 3 years, 3-year, 40,000 kilometer coverage. So that'll cover you till August 15th, 2024, or 40,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. It's probably going to be your mileage.
Told you it wouldn't take long. Mini's still getting worked on. While we're here, I am going to pop in and see Melanie. She is a lovely lady who sold us our Mini Cooper S and our Mini Cooper SE, because I want to find out when the next generation Mini will be released, the one with the twice the range, and see if she can shed any light on release dates and when we might be able to order one. No one knows what's involved with the first service, okay? So I've asked the lady over there and she went through, there's only like 3 things. It's like brake fluid and a couple of basic things. Obviously there's no oil change, but my question is, when's the next gen electric Mini coming out with twice the range? Do you know?
What's the next what?
The next generation electric Mini.
Oh, good question. I haven't heard yet.
What? You work here?
I know.
Okay, so...
I know, they keep everything kind of in the dark. You mean like something with a higher range and whatnot?
Yeah, so what we're
I
seeing
don't know
online...
yet. Is that on film?
Oh yeah, say hello.
No.
So what we need
No,
to
you
know...
wouldn't do that without telling me, would you?
I already told you. Don't worry, I can delete it. So, from what we're seeing online, the next generation Mini Cooper is going to have twice the range.
They're talking about that.
Yeah. But
Nothing's confirmed yet,
nothing's
though.
official yet with
No.
you guys, so there's absolutely no way that we can pre-order a next generation.
I
Mini
could check
Cooper.
with Taylor on that. Taylor's my direct manager.
Okay,
I haven't seen any memos or anything on that,
okay.
but it will be coming out.
So
that
that's
will be
not
in the
just
future.
you, that's like all the Mini
All the Mini
BMW groups
dealers.
will not have been notified of any
Right.
release dates.
That's right.
Okay.
They send out bulletins and let us know
Okay.
ahead of time when
So everything
something like that
online
will
that
happen.
we're seeing in spy shots, it's really just hearsay
Just
and...
speculation.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine, that's fine.
And it's also just enough to keep the information out there and the interest
Yeah,
and keeping
okay.
the brand alive electrically.
Okay.
So that's what they, all that speculation does basically keeps. But it's not that they, that what they say they will be
yeah.
coming
Yeah,
forward.
they
with
do
something.
that. They do the same with all the electric
Yeah.
stuff. So, it looks like what we're seeing online, spy shots, stats, all that kind of thing, is mostly speculation and hype, just to keep everyone interested. Melanie is going to contact us as soon as she knows anything more, when we might be able to order one and what the new stats are going to be. And I will of course relay that information to you guys immediately after we order ours. So how has our electric Mini been for the last almost 2 years? Here's an update. I have teleported back to the house and specifically to the charger because everyone wants to know how much it costs to run. Now, we exclusively charge at the house. We don't charge at fast charge or anything like that. We haven't needed to. We bought the car for a 40-mile daily commute, which is plenty for 3 trips before we need to charge it. So every night we top it up. So here are the figures, and they do change depending on the time of year. Starting in January, total cost for the whole of January was $24.69. February, $24.70. March, $26.52. Then it got a bit warmer. April, $13.50. And the whole of May, $11.44, which is pretty awesome. So obviously winter takes its toll. You've got your snow tires on. We happen to have heavier rims with the snow tires. You get your lights on more, you get your wipers, you get your heater. All that adds up to drawing power, obviously. But pretty much more than twice as much power it absorbs in winter over summer, which it is now, very warm. Even with the AC running, it doesn't suck up as much power as the winter use. So, other stuff. No, let me finalize then. So the total this year so far is $100.75. If you compare that to the previous Mini Cooper S, which was a 2-litre turbo, that was getting a fuel tank every 2 weeks. So calculating that into the equation, it would have cost us $500 in fuel up to this point instead of $100.75, so a fifth of the price. Moving on, grievances. These are all from my wife because I never get to drive the car. Let us start with, apparently there's a rattle above her head on the driver's side. I just drove it for 2 hours and I didn't hear it, so it's all in my wife's head. It's maybe our big earrings rattling against the window, who knows. Okay, let's see, we have no light in the charging slot. Now, I overcame that by adding just a tiny little LED. You've probably seen that previous video, if not, it's up there. And it does the job, but yeah, if they had just added a little LED that comes on when you open the flap, it would have just made life a bit easier, especially when you try to plug it in at night time. No biggie, but oversight. Right, what's next? The infotainment system kind of sucks. Pretty low quality graphics, to be honest. The GPS system is horrible. We don't use that, but you can use CarPlay and it works well, and you can just use Google Maps or whatever on the screen. Then you don't need the infotainment system other than for like volume and Bluetooth connectivity, your phone, that kind of thing. So yeah, you do need the infotainment. I can't say that word. You get the idea. Okay, next grievance. These are all pretty much trivial personal grievances, okay? But this one annoys me as well. The beeping on reverse. It just has a panic attack if there's something closer than a meter to you. We haven't found a way to calm that down a bit. It's just something we have to live with. But it kind of makes it a bit dangerous because you start ignoring the reversing beeps because you just assume, oh, it must be miles away. So that's worth thinking about. If that could be fine-tuned, then it would be perfect. Right, my wife does not like the steering wheel vibrating when you go over a line. Not because she goes over lines a lot, but it activates when you go over strange markings on the road. For example, in winter we do have lines of salt and brine, which creates a white line, not always on the road line, it could be in the middle. So you could actually suddenly get this vibration in the car and you're perfectly in the lane, but it does panic you a bit. So that's possibly the same with any vehicle with lane sensors. Let me know if you drive something else and you have a problem with that lane censoring thing. We haven't found a way to just switch off that but still have the proximity thing, which flashes a red mini on the dash if a car in front slams the brakes on, which is kind of pointless because why would you be looking down at the dash instead of the road ahead? That's just naughty driving. Moving on. Still not mad about the what happens when you switch off the cruise control. If you tap the brake, it does more than just gentle braking. It goes straight into regen mode and brakes pretty hard. Best way we found is to switch off the cruise control on the steering wheel and not actually have a bit of pressure on the gas pedal, which kind of defies logic, but it's the only way we found to have a smooth transition from cruise control to normal driving. So she goes on to say, otherwise it's perfect, fun, comfortable, even on the hour-long commute. She always goes to back roads because it's more fun to drive than sit in traffic, even though back road limits are too slow really to have fun. It's the third Mini and the best of 3. Confidently says it's her favourite car she's owned, which is pretty awesome. Space has never been an issue. Now, she always drives in full regen and very rarely uses the brakes. I have started doing the same, to be honest. And she always drives in mid mode. I drive in sport mode. I just like the pedal feeling a bit softer, a bit more responsive, but it's nice that you've got options there. She says green is just a no-go. I would never try green. Says green is a no-go. Tried it a couple of times. It just makes the car feel heavy, like it's broken. Never tried the eco green mode. Sounds awful. Yeah, that's where it switches off. Everything switches off. Your radio switches off the AC. Just miserable. Just buy a car with a bigger battery if you're going to resort to that. And the other thing that we had to discover was when the brake light came on when you back off, because it does come on even without touching the brake pedal. It'll come on with regen. But we did a bit of testing. I've got a video somewhere and you can check that out. But it comes on naturally, you know. It doesn't look as if you're trying to brake check the car behind. It just comes on as if you were gently braking or whatever. It's fine. Hill starts or hill stops starts. That was a strange sentence. And traffic jam, took a bit of trust and experiment to know when it would roll back. Takes quite a steep hill before you need to engage the handbrake. If you use the handbrake, it will auto off once you move forward, which is handy. Handling / cornering is, if anything, better than previous Mini, mostly because it feels very bottom heavy and hence very planted and stable. The additional weight also helps it feel very stable on windy days. Very rarely do you feel a big gust of wind shake the car. That said, the power available more than offsets the weight, never feels remotely sluggish, and that's in mid-mode. We love the white leather and the interior in general. It's just a nice place to be. The stitching on the driver's side has greyed a little, but otherwise it's held up well. She does wipe it down with leather wipes every so often. Also, we love the back lights and front lights. They look cool, work well, can see clearly driving at night. And finally, the phone app is helpful and handy. She uses it regularly for remote start and to see if she remembers to lock it. Also where it is when her son borrows it. She also uses it to book the service and it gave her the charging costs. So pretty good. And that's about it for the update, to be honest. Oh, my senses are tingling. I think the Mini's ready. Time to teleport back to St. Catharines.
On my coffee and then I'll go through it. Okay, one there. Thank you. So did the washer, topped up the washer fluid for you. Did the vehicle check. Tires are good at 630 seconds. Brake pads are good at 9 and 8 millimeters, so awesome there. Oil, changed your microfilter and reset your maintenance schedule. So you are good to go.
Awesome. One question.
Yes.
Was there any software update or anything?
No.
Okay, so it should be exactly as it was before.
Okay, yep, there you go.
Awesome.
And there you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. These are mine, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye. Have a great rest of the weekend.
You too. All done. So all in, it took 2 hours. Now, you do have the option to drop the vehicle off, but it is about 45 minutes away from us, so it wasn't really practical to do that. So I just waited. They took the vehicle straight away, so it wasn't like there was a delay in getting the job done. But I guess they have to do the brake fluid and cabin filter. I don't know what's involved, but hey, whatever. I knew that it might take a while. And they washed it. They didn't top up the electricity though, but then if they got things plugged in, they wouldn't be able to top up the electricity anyway. So that's that. Good for another almost 2 years, I guess. Pretty easy, pretty cheap. Well, that didn't cost anything. That was included in the price, the purchase price of the vehicle. Okay, well, as I say, I will inform you if there's any update on the next generation Mini Cooper SE or any of the electric minis. We're really looking for that extended range coming soon. It's not a complaint. This car still does exactly what we wanted it to do, but it would be nice to be able to go for longer runs. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to go somewhere scenic and take some nice slow-mo video. Bye for now.